Let's look at some strategies that we can use to ensure the validity of our findings in qualitative research. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you have used an inductive approach to analyze your interviews through thematic analysis and are now wondering how to justify the validity of your subjective interpretations? In this video, we'll look at 9 ways to justify the validity of your findings in qualitative research. Despite subjective interpretations, which normally come out during inductive thematic analysis, one of the most popular ways of analyzing qualitative data, we need to justify the validity of our findings. My name is Bernard Mugo. I like to refer to myself simply as an academic. In the past 3 years, I've helped more than 200 PhD students analyze qualitative data and finally complete their theses and dissertations. In the course of supporting such a large number of students, I've gained invaluable experience in the best practices that you can use to perform qualitative analysis of your interviews and be able to retrieve quality findings. One strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is triangulation. Triangulation means using different sources of information to support the themes in your research. The term actually comes from naval navigation. Sailors used multiple reference points to figure out where they were at sea. In research, we do something similar. So there are 4 main forms of triangulation in qualitative research, including data source triangulation, personal triangulation, investigator triangulation, and theory triangulation. In data source triangulation, you might gather data from interviews, field notes, and documents. On the other hand, in personal triangulation, you can try to get insights from different groups of participants, for example, nurses, doctors, community health workers in healthcare research. So when you decide to interview these different participants, you are doing personal triangulation. Another form of triangulation that we can attempt to do is investigator triangulation. This is where multiple researchers compare their findings. Theory triangulation is also another form of triangulation. So this form of triangulation involves looking at your data through different theoretical lenses. On the other hand, in qualitative research, triangulation often happens naturally during coding. This is because you review different pieces of evidence and compare them and see what themes consistently show up. Strategy number 2, disconfirming evidence. The second strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is looking for disconfirming evidence. Disconfirming evidence simply means information that goes against a theme that you have identified. Here is how it works. First, the researcher finds a theme based on the data. Then they go back and check to see if there is any data that suggests a different explanation. This kind of evidence doesn't have to be strong enough to completely disapprove the original theme, but it does challenge the original theme a bit and adds complexity. So including these exceptions helps to paint a more accurate and realistic picture. This is because in real life research, not all evidence will line up perfectly. So there is almost always something that pushes back on the main idea. So when writing up the findings, researchers usually include disconfirming evidence as a small part of the theme section to show that they've considered different perspectives. Let me interrupt this video for a minute and pose this question to you. Are you overwhelmed by qualitative data analysis? I've got you covered with 2 specialized services tailored just for you. But before I tell you of my services, let me start by informing you that I have an average 5-star rating from previous clients that I've worked with both in the done for you and the consulting service. Now, here are the 2 services I provide to help you in analyzing your qualitative data. Number 1, the done for you qualitative data analysis service. In this service, I handle the heavy lifting so you can focus on the bigger picture. My service includes meticulous manual coding, where I code every word carefully for meaningful insights, theme development, where I identify patterns that matter the most, data visualization, where I produce stunning visuals that tell your data story, writing the findings report, where I produce content that's ready to use for the 4th chapter of your thesis or dissertation, which is the findings section. And I also provide a walkthrough video recording, which is a step-by-step explanation of how I analyzed your data using NVivo. The second service that I offer is the one-on-one NVivo consulting. In this service, we hop on a video call via Microsoft Teams or Zoom, and in just a few hours, I'll help you become a pro within Viva. So whether you are a beginner or looking to refine your qualitative data analysis skills, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. So don't wait, contact me today. My details in the description and in the pinned comment. Strategy number 3, reflexivity. The third strategy that you can use to ensure validity of your findings in qualitative research is adopting reflexivity. Reflexivity involves you as a researcher thinking about how your own background and experiences might influence the way you interpret your data. Reflexivity will entail a researcher clearly identifying and reporting their biases, beliefs, and assumptions, and how those might shape their findings. By sharing this, your research actually becomes more trustworthy. In this regard, readers can better understand where you are coming from and how that might affect your interpretation of the data. In this section, you briefly explain how your personal perspective might have influenced the study. Strategy number 4, member checking. The fourth strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is member checking. In member checking, the researcher shares the main themes or stories that came out of the data with the interviewees. These do not include the full transcripts or notes, but a summary of what was found. The participants will then be asked, does this sound right to you? Is this what you meant? This can be done in a focus group where a researcher leads a discussion with open-minded questions. It can also be done in one-on-one interviews. The goal of member checking is to find out whether the participants feel that the findings represent their experiences accurately. So, a researcher might ask the following questions in member checking sessions. Is this account accurate? Are there important ideas missing? Do you disagree with any part of these themes? Now, if the participants provide different views, the researcher can revise their themes to reflect what was actually said by the participants. Strategy number 5, prolonged engagement in the field. The fifth strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is prolonged engagement in the field. Prolonged engagement simply means spending a long time in the field with the participants. The idea is simple. The more time you spend with the participants, the better your understanding of their world and the more accurate your findings will be. So, there is no set amount of time that works for every study. It depends on your schedule and the participants' availability and your resources. However, if you can spend weeks or even months in the setting where you conducted your study, your codes, themes, and overall story will be much stronger. Most of the times, researchers will mention in their methods section how long they spent collecting data and interacting with their participants. So staying longer will give you a chance to check your interpretations with the people in the study and make changes if needed. Strategy number 6, collaborate with participants. The sixth strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is collaborating with participants. In many studies, researchers do not just collect data and walk away. No, they check in with the participants and involve them in important decisions throughout the research process. This collaboration can range from limited involvement to full participation in every phase of the study. So the goal is to build trust and to make sure the research is useful to the people it's about. Participants might help shape the research questions or join in analyzing interviews, text, or images, or they might help reflect on the findings and help suggest practical recommendations. In more formal cases, this might be known as community-based participatory research, where participants are seen as co-researchers and not just subjects. Now, this kind of collaboration doesn't just improve the accuracy of the study, but it also makes the research more ethical, inclusive, and grounded in the real-world needs of the participants. Strategy number 7, external audit. The seventh strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is implementing an external audit. An external audit involves getting a fresh set of eyes on a research project. This will involve recruiting someone who wasn't involved in the research to be an external auditor. This can be another researcher who will review everything, including your research design, your data, your analysis, and your final findings. The job of an external auditor is to check whether the study was done carefully and whether the conclusions make sense based on the evidence. After going through the materials, the auditor writes a report. This report will be included in the appendix of the dissertation so that others can see that the study was reviewed for quality. Now, having someone outside the project verify the work adds a strong layer of credibility and shows that the study was done in a rigorous and trustworthy way. Strategy number 8, rich description. The 8th strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is by providing rich descriptions. This means giving detailed, vivid accounts of the setting, the people, and the themes so that the reader can almost see, hear, and feel what it's like to be there. A strong description doesn't just list the facts. It pulls the reader into the scene like a story, helping them experience what the participants went through. This might include a bit of dialogue and a moment of interaction, or a clear picture of the environment where the action took place. This kind of writing brings the research to life and helps others fully understand the experience being studied. It's not just about the style, it's a powerful way to show the findings are grounded in real lived experiences. Strategy number 9, peer debriefing. The 9th strategy that you can use to ensure the validity of your findings in qualitative research is peer debriefing. This is when you ask someone familiar with the topic or with the qualitative research in general to review your study and give you feedback. This person acts like a critical friend. They might support your work, but they are also there to challenge your ideas, ask tough questions, and point out anything that doesn't quite fit. The goal is to improve the study by catching the blind spots and sharpening your analysis. Because they understand the topic, peers can offer useful insights while still being honest and objective. These reviewers might be fellow students, researchers, or even people similar to your participants. After reviewing your work, they usually provide a brief report with feedback on both the strengths and the areas that could be improved in your study. So there you have it. There are 9 ways you can use to make sure that your qualitative research is valid and credible, which include 1. Triangulation, 2. Disconfirming evidence, 3. Reflexivity, 4. Member checking, 5. Prolonged engagement in the field, 6. Participant collaboration, 7. External audits, 8. Thick description, and 9. Peer debriefing. It's always advisable to use at least 2 of these approaches to ensure the validity of your qualitative research. Remember, if you are feeling stuck with your data analysis chapter, don't stress. I'm here to help. I offer done-for-you qualitative data analysis services using viva. My done-for-you service includes coding, theme development, and visualization. On the other hand, if you prefer to learn and do the analysis yourself, I provide one-on-one consulting where I'll guide you step by step on how to master viva in performing qualitative data analysis. Reach out right now. Check the description below for my email and link to my website. Thank you.